Not yet.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to begin, St. Joseph County Public Library Board meeting. Beginning with the finance meeting, on the agenda. Determining quorum. How you go? Alex, I'm here. Nicole,
Here.
Ann,
Here.
Ruth,
Here.
and Christina.
Here.
And Terry is
No.
in cyberspace. We have a quorum. Okay.
Mr. President, I think it meant, I would be out of town and out of the country and the next scheduled meeting in February.
You don't need to brag.
Why don't you just say this week? That way, if you don't want to come to Japan, it's okay. And the only reason I'm saying that is that if you have to have 4 people in person. So, I want to, everybody else,
I'll be here.
everybody else is fine.
This next is February 19th.
26.
How long will you be gone?
Just 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Where you
We all, that's 2 days.
on the same bar, the hardest part is in the.
If you want, but I'm trying to go for to check out. Fireworks.
Oh, good idea.
Is that text right on?
Hi, Grace.
Thank you for this. We're in the election of the Library Board of Finance. What happened as something?
We're looking for nominations for, people who are willing, are Margaret and Nicole, or anybody else who needs to have, nomination of the Board of Finance.
I'll second.
And Secretary, I nominate Nicole.
I'll second.
And second, that we nominate Margaret Curtis for the president and Nicole, let's see, for the secretary of the Board of Finance.
That's the close nomination.
The other nomination is not, move the nomination be closed.
Second.
Very good. All in favor of the nomination be closed, say aye.
Aye.
So now, we have 2 candidates, Margaret Curtis and Nicole Garcia. On the question, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Congratulations, Nicole.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I have a question though.
Okay.
What position is on Jeanette?
Treasurer.
Treasurer, okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
So that's the next meeting.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, we'll close out this one and start the other one.
I have a review of the investment policy report by Anjanette.
So we'll go over the investment report quickly. It's in your board packet. Just to make it simplified, last year we decided to not look at certificates of deposit and to move any investments that we would choose to do to Trust Indiana. And as you can see from the report, we were able to get a much higher return on our investment with Trust Indiana than we had prior with certificates of deposit. So that is the investment report.
We earned almost $500,000 in interest in a short period of time.
Yeah, we started in March.
I'm a high use about that.
I move to
Only.
approve the investment policy and investment report.
Have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the investment report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Or do I eventually call the roll?
No, because we don't have anyone
Okay.
participating remotely.
Any opposed? None ayes have it. Report has been accepted.
We need that resolution.
Must sign this now or?
No.
Yeah, that was the report out.
Oh, okay.
Let me just go over the
On the back is.
Resolution, or no?
Resolution.
There's an annual resolution that we need to sign, and basically it kind of puts together the, investment policy, which, follows Indiana state statute. The ability that, I can sign, checks via, facsimile signature, stamp, electronic signature, and that, a surety bond will be, available, and purchased for me as the treasurer. So that needs to be signed, it needs to be resolved yearly and signed by the board.
So moved.
Moved on second,
Second.
we move in property second that we approve the resolution. For the annual library board resolution, I call the question, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, resolution is approved. With the law for electronic signature, all right? Carry this through. Carry.
So now that Karen's here, we need to roll call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carry. How's the
Sorry to
weather
be
there?
late.
You all golfing? This, a motion to finance, finance,
To adjourn.
yes. Move to adjourn. Motion, second.
Second.
Move second to the adjourn the library finance board meeting, all in favor? Okay, roll call, please. Karen, you have the resolution for the, paperwork for the finance committee?
You know what? I am outside and I'm having a terrible time hearing. It's very quiet. I'm gonna go step inside where I can hear better, okay? Apologize for the lateness, had a complication. Okay, I'm inside, I can hear now.
We didn't need them for the.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, okay.
So we can
Okay,
start.
all in favor, say aye. Okay, so the finance committee is been adjourned. Thank you, folks.
We can't start the regular board meeting for 2 minutes.
Yeah, here we go.
That's fine. For them.
How's the weather in Arizona?
It is 80 today. We we had a little cold snap last week. Really, it was kind of chilly, but we're back. You guys got out of your deep freeze, I see.
Today.
Yeah.
So for, what's chilly in Arizona?
Say that again.
What's chilly in Arizona? Here's the temperature.
What generally? Is that what you said?
Chilly.
Oh, chilly, 50, 55. It gets old. You get really tired of the sun.
You have our son, I think. You have double your share. We haven't had any.
Yeah, well, I'd share, but I don't know how.
Yeah.
I think I've just lost audio.
No, we're
Oh.
just waiting for the time to pass for that 4:25 start time.
Okay.
You can start late, you can't start early.
Okay.
We're complicated.
This new lawyer is making us work really hard. You won't let it start, she's got a spotlight. There we got 30 seconds.
Okay. I call to order the library board meeting of St. Joseph County Public Library. So it's Monday, January 29, 2024. I will determine the quorum. I call the roll. Ruth?
Here.
Christine?
Here.
Nicole?
Here.
Terry?
Here.
And Alan? Here.
I'm here.
Oh, I think I am. I'm sorry. Ann. Get a quorum. Consent agenda is front of you, which consists of 4 items. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda for the, this meeting. Have any questions? If not, I will call the roll for approval. I'll start with Terry,
Aye.
Ann,
Aye.
Ruth,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
and Alan.
Aye.
The consent agenda has been approved. Now for the director's report. Stephanie?
So I just did a little look back on 2023. And we did do, I'm gonna skip ahead because we have quite a bit on the agenda today and just hit a couple of things that were not in my written report. There was a bill in the House, Senate, Bill 32, which, the language would change the way that libraries are funded. More or less making it a department of the county. That was from Senator Pons out of Evansville. That bill did not get a hearing in committee, and so that Senator Pons wrote a lot of the language the last couple of years regarding libraries. So, we'll just keep an eye on that, because sometimes legislators take language from one bill and fit in another. You're not supposed to do that if it hasn't even been heard in committee. But Jenny and I were downstate last week and spoke with our representatives, and we're just present in the Indiana Library Federation, has a space set up in the State House where we can talk to legislators and whoever else is in the State House about libraries and what they do. So that was we think a really useful day. And then the other thing, looking back, that didn't make it into my written report is that some of that data and stats that we don't typically report on, and these are from HR. We reduced our turnover rate to about 18%, 18.18% in 2023, which is really great. I know manufacturing is different, but I heard the Jeremy Lippert from he talked about his turnover rate and the work that he's done in leadership over there. And his turnover rate went from 132% to a really fabulous 25%. So our 18.18 is really good for turnover. Our average time to hire is about 29 days. So some positions are pretty quick and easy, and some take a little bit longer, especially those certified librarian positions are taking us some time. And then we increased our staff diversity between 21 and 23 by about 4% more diverse staff. So it's not a ton, but we're moving the needle. So, any questions?
Questions for the second?
I just want to say about diversity is it's not only a function of diverse staff, but in what positions are those diverse staff? And I think that we've done a good job.
Yes.
In that area.
Thank you. Still work to do.
Any other comments, questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the director's reports.
So moved.
Motion and a second. Second. The move and second that we accept the director's report. I will call the roll. Christine,
Aye.
Ann,
Aye.
Terry,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Ruth,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
and I vote aye. So, thank you, Ann. Patron engagement report.
Hello. All right, well, I'm excited for two reasons. A, this is end of year stats, so it's always nice to see like the whole year. Oh, yes, I will speak up. Let me know if I can. End of year stats are not only an opportunity to look at our whole year in review, and I think that's where we see some of the bigger trends happening. Like if you're looking week by week or day by day, you can't really see things. But also, this is the last time you will look at this particular version. We've been working on a version of the report that will include some more information that you just haven't been receiving. And that includes some like news articles and what we've been doing and some things about the collection. So hopefully it'll give you a bigger picture and a more fun picture on what the library is up to every month. But a few things to highlight. Our gate count for the year was 708,000 people, which is excellent, 21% increase from last year. We were at closer to 900,000 pre-pandemic, but I would say this is like a huge leap from what we've been seeing over the past few years. And that was a corresponding increase for things like computer use, Wi-Fi use. We had 36,500 people attend a library program, and about 84,000 people use one of our meeting rooms. And that was pretty evenly divided between people using meeting rooms at the branches, which was about 41,000, and about 43,500 people use this space right here. So I think that kind of shows the breadth of what we're doing and the number of people that we impact here in the community.
Is there some way to put that into a report before the newspaper?
We're working on our annual report, so that should be out at the end of February, and that'll have a lot of these like big picture statistics. So,
Well, I'm talking to Alicia Reddy. 700 words is an article for the and I think that would be a great article to put together so people know what the library does. So 700 word article.
I want to concur with that I've, excuse me, given a number of people tours in the last several months. And it's almost universal. They say, is it being used? And it's going to be great to have some solid data to answer that with. I always say, yes, of course. But, you know, if I get them there in a certain time on a certain day and there's not much there, I want to make sure I can give them something. So thanks. I'll wait for the report.
I'll look into Alicia's phone number and do that.
okay.
I think that'd be a great article.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you.
Great numbers. Let me ask you, what about the kindergarten? Library cards for kindergarten?
They're coming on Thursday. It's the first day, and then they will be here every day of the month except for a few Fridays.
So they're coming, and then they're coming, and then they're coming.
Yeah.
They're still coming.
Yeah, it's super exciting. So if you want to just pop in, usually there's a batch that come in the morning and then slightly later in the day, but they're all done generally by like 1:30. But it's really the best possible month. And then,
On Wednesday.
What's
You
that?
wanna come see him at 10:10?
Okay.
mhm.
After every 6 o'clock, I'll push that.
I'll tell you what, being in this building when those kindergarten classes come through, it's pure joy. They love it here. And some of them have never been in the library before. And they all get their own library card, they all get to check out a book, they get a story time from their local librarian. So if they live near Chuck, then the person from Chuck will come and do the story time. So that's really good. Yep, and the story house. And then they're all over, they're all over Chinatown.
Actually, my colleagues, friends of mine whose grandchildren come to town, they ask first thing, can we go to the library? Regardless of age, it's like, that's where they want to go. Not, they like the zoo and everything else in Chocolate Cafe, but they want to come to the library.
So the, one of the priorities in the state house here is, in the legislature is reading. And so obviously the work that we do here is so fundamental to reading scores and reading in the community. Because we see kids before they start school and we see families before they start school. So, it's a good time for us to talk about the work that libraries do in the literacy world too.
Yeah, and one more thing about SB Ready, because while the kindergartners coming are so very exciting, In March and April, we're gonna be going to all the first grade classes, so our kindergartners last year. And we have a whole thing worked out where they're gonna be, listening to a book, they get a story time, and then they're going to be writing like 1 or 2 sentences and illustrating a panel that talks about how their book got lost at the zoo on its way to the library. And then that book is gonna be, we're gonna bind it, we're gonna catalog it, and it will go in every single library branch. So all the kids will be able to come with the start of summer reading and check out their own book that they are authors and illustrators of. So the kindergartners are super exciting, but I think getting the first grade part of it kicked off is also, we can't wait.
Kudos to the youth services staff, especially Emily, what's her name? Lavelle, who's our early literacy librarian. She's just done so much work on this project.
Yeah.
I got another question. We've been seeing an uptick in homeschool kids coming to campus. They part of this, or is it a separate, or do you do that?
They're not part of this program. This is just with the public schools. But we do have a few homeschool meetups. There is a official one. It's one of our community clubs that meets here at Main Library, and we have a section for teens and then a section for younger kids. And then I know some of the other branches like Center and Lakeville and North Liberty also do some programming in support of their homeschool families.
Other questions for Jenny, or not on the conversation? Okay, we have to do the financial report.
Okay, so hopefully you've looked at the board packet again, and so it will change a tad bit, during, the next board meeting, because some of the lines are now zeros, and it'll be a little shorter. But it's the same data, just making it, a little bit more, clean and streamlined, so we can see what we're doing. But if there's any questions on that, let me know. The Cruel Lawton, Forbes, St. Joseph County component unit audit is done.
Yay.
We're super happy. Again, it wasn't really our audit, it's just because we're the component unit. There were no adverse findings, reflected for the library in their audit. They were actually going up for an award. And so not sure exactly where they are with that. Hopefully we'll hear something about that, but, I don't think we had caused any issues with their audit. They did indicate that they would think that we're gonna be part of their component unit audit. It's gonna start right again, potentially by June. So we will be ready, to go, because this is full year 1. So it was all my work and my team's work, so we know what we're looking at this time and not
And
looking
the
at
auditors
past information.
understand better what libraries
Yes.
do as well.
And so, that's done. So we are happy that was completed. And we've already started pulling together, what we think we need for, any audit, and it's already kind of pulled out, because we know what to look for. We opened the year, smoothly with all of our systems. So BPM is up and running, which is our purchasing system. Everyone is putting POs in, our budgets are loaded. So we're, super excited about that. Haven't had too many questions or too many issues. So, that's great. I'm in the process of completing the DLGF, annual financial report, and the one for, the state library. So both of those are due, February 29th, March 1st. I plan on having both completed, my parts, completed by February 15th. So, the state library one can be moved on, to the next pieces that need to be completed. There was a question at the last meeting regarding the property tax relief for 55-year-olds, and what the impact would be for, potentially could be for the library. The county was great. They did a full analysis for all of the units, that could be affected by it, and our potential, exposure could be approximately $117,945. So we know that everyone is not gonna sign up, so it would probably potentially be less than that, so about $117,000. And then, we received all of our December tax deposits on time. There was no lateness. Right now, our first source account is about 17.1 million, with the rest of our dollars sitting in trust and yeah. Is there any questions?
Question? All right. No questions. I will entertain a motion to receive both the patron engagement report and the financial report.
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
It's the move the second that we receive the patron engagement report and the financial report. I will call for the question by calling the roll. I'll start with Terry,
Yes, aye.
Ruth,
Aye.
Ann,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Alan. Aye. And I vote aye. Is there any unfinished business? Hearing none, we should move on to new business. The nomination and election of officers. Into this is what.
Anyone can nominate, but we can
Alright, so we have,
just. Are you opening?
I'm opening, yes, I'm gonna,
I'd like to nominate Marvin.
Second that.
okay.
Well, then we should individually. We have to elect officers individually, or can they do one vote at the end? Individually.
All in favor?
Any other nominations?
Close now.
Nomination is closed. All in favor, nomination be closed, say,
Mr. President. They can,
I got closed nomination.
we can take all the ones. We can do them one at a time.
She's the one, the time? But it's the one time.
Yeah, so we close the
I
nomination.
guess just that, okay. So, I'll call the roll to close the nomination. Okay. So, I'll say Alan. Aye. Cole.
Aye.
Christine.
Aye.
I am.
Aye.
And Ruth. And Terry.
Aye.
Nomination is closed. We elect Marvin Curtis as president for 2024. All in favor? We'll call the roll. Terry.
I was barely able to hear. Would you repeat it, please?
Yes, the meeting president again.
No, I didn't hear that.
Voting for Marvin for president, are you an A or an A, Terry?
Again, I couldn't hear that. There's a echo that's, I'm turned all the way up here. I'm not sure what to do. I'm not hearing a lot of what you say. Maybe I should.
Terry, will you, message him and say if he can't hear, then he's not eligible to vote?
Right, I understand that. So if I need to drop away, it's what it is.
We can hear him.
I can hear you. Alan. Aye. Cole.
Aye.
Christine.
Aye.
Ruth.
Aye.
And. No, go ahead. And.
Aye.
30 years.
I can hear.
This is the vote for Marvin Curtis as president. A or nay?
Am I still eligible to vote?
If you can hear.
You hear us?
Okay, yes, aye. Okay, yes, aye.
Aye, five have it. Vice President, slated has as Vice President, Ann is nominated for Vice President of the Board for next year.
We don't have a nomination.
Okay. The nomination for Vice President,
I nominate Ann Rosen.
and has been nominated for Vice President. Any other nomination?
Need a second.
Oh, need a second.
Okay.
Okay, I got a second. Any other nomination?
I move the nomination.
Thank you. It's been moved, the nomination be closed. I will call the roll on that one.
Second.
Thank you. Ruth. Saturday.
Oh.
So, yeah, I don't have to. Alan, Cole,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
I'll look at that. And, sorry. Terry?
Aye.
Okay. How many is looking close? And has been, those have been nominated for vice president. I will call the roll. Yea or nay? I'll start with, Ruth,
Aye.
Terry,
Aye.
Alan. Nicole,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
and
Aye.
I vote aye. Let's try to do this one right now. One time. For secretary, nomination is open for secretary.
Nicole is voting.
Nicole,
I nominate Nicole.
I'll second that.
okay. The board of secretary, Nicole get nominated. Are there any other nomination? And a motion to close the nomination. I can't understand. Motion to close the nomination. I'll start with Dan. Oh, second, I'm sorry. Almost got it. There's a second to close the nomination? Second.
And motion, Alan second. There you go, you're good.
Dan,
We're voting on
close the nomination.
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Terry,
Aye.
Alan. Ruth.
Aye.
I vote aye. Nomination has been closed. We have on the slate Nicole Garcia as secretary. I will call the roll. Favor A, my favor nay. I'll start with Dan.
Aye.
Terry,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Alan. Ruth.
Aye.
Nicole.
Aye.
I vote aye. Okay, so Nicole's been elected secretary of the board. Aye. Treasurer. Look, this is already done. I'm sorry.
And
Yeah, I mean, she's,
Yeah, I still have to be elected though. Don't I? Yeah.
really?
This is the office on the board.
Might I nominate Anjanette?
I decline.
She last time.
For those of you who know that.
It's like, no.
So the second for Anjanette is, treasurer. This is too much fun. But motion, open nomination. And the second. So who said that we close the nomination on treasurer? I will call the roll. Ruth,
Aye.
Terry,
Aye.
Alan. Nicole,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
and Ann.
Aye.
Close the nomination on treasurer. We will elect, I'll call the roll for the election of the treasurer, Anjanette Dassler. I will vote, I will start with Ann.
Aye.
Terry,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Alan. Me,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Okay, so you can elect it again.
And you can just nominate the person.
For, committee chairs for finance. Okay.
Chair for 2024 Finance Committee.
As chair, Terry, and the member, committee, Christine.
Your appointment.
Here's my point, this is point you guys. Human Resources Committee will be Ann and Nicole as a member. Ann will be the chair, Nicole will be a member. Public Services Committee, Alan will be the chair, and Ruth will be a member. And that's it. We're done with that.
Every year, we get a good result.
Shouldn't be that hard. And now, resolution for cancellation of outstanding old checks. Jeanette?
Yes, this is a yearly resolution. Basically, we create a list of all of the outstanding checks that have not been cashed, 2 years prior, and, those need to be resolved to, be rolled off the books.
Who's J.G. Palmer?
Say that again?
Who's J.G. Palmer?
I do not know. Okay.
I love it. I thought it was funeral company first.
I move that we, cancel the outstanding warrants listed in the resolution included in our board packet.
There's a second?
Second,
It's moved and second that we approve the resolution for cancellation of old outstanding checks.
Just to be clear too, this is statutorily required, so it's your resolution, but we have to do it.
Okay.
With those timeframes.
Question, so this money comes back to us. Move the second that we approve the resolution, I will call the roll. Dr. Ruth,
Aye.
Alan, Nicole,
Aye.
Christine,
aye.
Ann,
Aye.
and Terry,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Done. Let's see, resolution to transfer funds, you have to again.
So there were, in December, we did, a large, bunch of transfers, just to make sure that the accounts were in a positive state. And so there were, once we always had what we call in-betweens, other, payments that need to happen afterwards, and then another payroll came through. And so I needed to make a couple more transfers. And these are the last 2 transfers to balance out the accounts. Next year, hopefully we won't have to make too many transfers during the year, but the final transfer will actually happen at the January meeting, because then all of the December stuff is already settled where it needs to be. It just will be posted in December. But these are the last 2 transfers, and I just need the resolution to be passed.
Will the date be changed on the resolution to transfer form, or are we pretending we're signing it last week?
We're signing now for the 2022 budget year.
I know,
So I think
it
it's
says
the
adopted on the
adoption
22nd.
We didn't change
Oh.
it. Yes, I can,
Yes.
I can send you a new one to sign.
This is kind of the part of you.
Yes.
Yes.
We will make the date change.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. As long as I'm not doing that.
We have a resolution on the floor for the transfer of funds, do I have a motion to approve? Have a second?
Second.
Then move the second that we approve the resolution to transfer the funds. I will call the roll. I will start with Ann.
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Terry,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Bruce,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Approved. And grants, Bridget,
These are the gifts that we received, up through January 22nd that are $1,000 or more. We have some individual gifts, from Casey Buckles and Matthew Bluszewski, gave $3,000 to the annual fund. And Kyle and Sylvia Hauser, $1,000, and Jennifer and Mark Smith, $1,000 and $10 to cover credit card fees. Then corporate gifts, Express Press gave $1,000 already for the summer reading club coming up. And then we received a gift from the St. Joseph County Public Library Foundation that will be paid out over 4 quarters, but the overall gift they approved is $65,000.
St. Joseph Friends of the Library Commission.
Excellent.
good.
Need a motion to accept it?
There's a motion to accept. Good. A motion to accept the grant gifts. Have a second.
Second.
I'll just take that. So, I will call the roll for approval. I will start with Christine,
Aye.
Terry,
Aye.
Alan. Nicole,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Anne,
Aye.
I vote aye. Very good.
Bridget,
Did you want to say something more about the work or just?
I can, I have a,
Okay.
I just didn't see them.
Oh, I see that.
So Bridget was also going to give an update on the work that the Friends Foundation is doing.
Okay,
I just, update of the fundraising or?
Yeah, she's gonna give a development report from 2023 of the annual campaign.
Yes, that I thought was part of this agenda item.
Okay, as far as solicited gifts, we brought in $107,000. Last year, it's down 8.5%, which I find remarkable since we didn't have someone in this position for months. And individual giving went up 17% from the last fiscal year. And organizational renewal of gifts went up 850%. So there, the previous year, 2 fiscal years ago, many people didn't renew their gifts, but between 22 and 23, renewals went up dramatically. A large uptick, and you can see in the report, a large uptick in increase in individual gifts, people who stayed the same, and actually donors who stayed the same. The number of donors stayed the same, but the amount went up. And that follows a trend we're seeing in philanthropy. Smaller number of donors, but they're making larger gifts. And new gifts went up quite a bit, 79%. And I think part of that is what's sort of happening in the fall. We're getting more people interested in the library and wanting to be champions. We are focusing on corporate giving and sponsorships for 2024. We're already up by a third for Science Alive, which is on February 10th. So we met our goal and went past it, so I'm happy about that. And we're looking ahead to, even though we had an increase in individual giving, I still want to do better for next year. And the end of year giving campaign, compared from last year to this year, is up 58%. Part of that is some of our higher net worth donors give every other year. They double their gift, they bundle it. So I'm aware of that, so I want to kind of guard against that for next year, and I know I'll have to make up for that. So that's part of the plan. Thank you.
can people pledge and then pay over a time period, or how does that work?
They can, most people are paying right away, or some people are doing monthly, but I'd like to come up with something, either a 2-year pledge or a 3-year pledge.
Questions? for Bridget? This is the program. Okay, thank you. Information. And our attorney engagement letter.
Yes, so I'm requesting a ratification of the engagement letter with our new attorney, Myra Reed. It's a 1-year kind of letter of engagement with her, and we have a copy of that in your
Yes,
packet.
indeed. Myra, good to see you. Everybody has seen the letter? Everybody has met Myra, or will meet Myra? Do I have a motion to accept the engagement letter? Motion to move, motion to approve that second.
Second.
Move the second that we approve the engagement letter to Myra Reed as our general legal representation from December 23 to December 24. Any questions for Stephanie? I will call the roll. Ruth?
Aye.
Alan? Aye. Nicole?
Aye.
Christine?
Aye.
Ann?
Aye.
Terry?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Welcome. Other business from, Stephanie will give the report.
Yeah, so, Jack Benedict was actually here early. He had an appointment not far away from here last week. And so I was like, get yourself out of the icy weather and get back to Fort Wayne. But unfortunately, he couldn't make it today. So Lisa's gonna pull up some slides for me here. So we're looking at our next chapter, facilities planning. Zach and his team have been working for the last 6 months or so to assess, evaluate existing locations, spaces, and assets to identify how to best plan for future growth and to appropriately maintain our public spaces.
Sorry, it's not letting me, it's kind of giving me a.
Are these the same slides we got?
They're very similar, if not exact. It's okay, Lisa, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties, they happen. So, why are we doing this? Well, always it's a good idea to plan, but also it's part of our strategic plan to, under build a stronger community. We have spelled out that we want to develop a plan for the future branches that addresses the unique character of each neighborhood. And also under ensure library sustainability, it spells out the development of a 10-year master plan. So these are 2 goals within our strategic plan. So what Zach and his team did, was, we're gonna these are, again, his slides. But they looked at us compared with other libraries. They did, they helped us build a survey, and they, were here for focus groups. Numbers of people, how many focus groups we did are in here somewhere. That doesn't matter. We did some focus groups.
3 focus groups.
Thank you, Kara. And then they put all of that together, and they also, were on site looking at all of our mechanicals and worked closely with Joe to look at our, needs for mechanicals, roof, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Key considerations in that category are our aging HVAC infrastructure, low lighting levels. If you go to many of our branches, it's not very bright, so I would expect coming out of this would be a move to LED. And then in some places, we have some inoperable amenities, like Center has a fountain inside that does not work, that started leaking earlier this year, and their outdoor ponds are not working, and that, I think the quote to fix that is $100,000. So we're just funneling the plan for that into this plan. They looked at patron demographics. So when you look at this slide, which I think you have in there, page 7 for the slide, I don't know, after the community assessment, there you go. All SJCPL locations versus Savannah library clusters. So what we're looking at there are other libraries of similar size that use the same statistics database that Jenny uses, which is Orange Boy. So that gives us a sense of where we're at with, compared with other libraries. And actually, if you look at this, we have really a strong patron base. But what they look at on the occasional, how do we turn our occasional users into regular users through our spaces and designing really smart spaces. Page 8, when you look at patron demographics, this slide confused me at first, because if you look at that 100%, that is just strictly our users. So we're comparing our branches with each other. So the 100% is the average SJCPL patron. And you'll see that really across the board, we have a lot of non-English speaking, where English is not their first language. Across our branches, you can see median household income, which branches see a lot of kids, so that's those patrons under the age of 18. And then median household value. So I don't think there's huge surprises for us here. That's just a good little snapshot. I think the surprise for me is across the board, the number of non-first language English speakers we have in our community, in our library. The next facility usage slide, this is really interesting because what Zach and his team did was look at, called it a busyness factor. So if you take the things that are happening in the library and look at it per square foot, you can get a feel of how busy one branch is compared to another. So if you look straight at circulation, Francis is our absolute busiest branch. But if you look at how much circulating is happening per square foot, there, like River Park is getting closed, Center is getting closed. If you look at the number of patrons coming in on a given day, and Western, LaSalle, Tutton, River Park are 10,000 square foot branches, but you can see the number of people coming in, Western and LaSalle are actually quite a bit higher than Francis or Center in terms of that feel per square foot at how many people are in the building. We know for those two locations it's used in the afternoon for our after school crowds. But also if you look at their use of computers, they're very busy. And those circulations, yes, people are coming in. Francis is a really heavy hold location. People come in, they grab their books, they go. So all of that plays into how our building is being used and where are we tight for space. We did get 2,400 surveys back. By and large positive. If you look at page 11, if the pages are the same, on the engagement one, you'll see, and this is a question as a library director and that library staff get all the time, are books going away? They're not. The number one reason for a visit is, and probably will always be, to find a book or a magazine. And then we have recently, again, we talked about this here, seen an uptick in the people who are coming in for DVDs. And then all of these other reasons people come in. We were really pleased, we're on the next page, that people find our facilities to be clean and well maintained. They find parking is readily available, which is really amazing because not all libraries get to do that. And they feel like the library is an important part of their community. What parts of the library are extremely or somewhat important? Extremely important. Again, that easily accessible collection, accessible parking. And this is something, the third one here, which is sustainable and energy efficient buildings. Zach does not find that in survey responses in all of the communities that he works in. So we know that that's what we're hearing for our patrons. So we want to make sure we're prioritizing that as we make decisions for our facilities too. And then access to technology is the fourth most important thing. What we did not see a lot of was a request for more additional large meeting room space. But we did see requests for smaller study space. Our guiding principles that we came up with through here and that we'll continue to consider as we move forward is that we always want to put our community first. It can be easy to look at things and go, oh, what I would really like to have in an updated facility is X, Y, or Z. We want to make sure we're always looking at what the community needs, what the community wants. So that's always going to be our number one thing that we consider. Smart function. So we're always going to look at particularly flexibility because we know the future of collections like magazines, DVDs, like if you think about the next 10 years, how long are DVDs going to be a format? They'll probably continue to decline. Audiobooks, CDs, and magazines are just closing up shop in a paper physical format, left and right. It happens multiple times a year. So we want to make sure that any shelving we get is flexible, and furniture we get is flexible. We want to create flexible, and really smart spaces. And then inspired design, just like this is a really beautiful building, we want to make sure that whatever we do at all of our locations is really beautiful for our patrons and communities. And that it feels like a welcoming environment wherever they go. System-wide, some priorities as we go through, we're looking at meeting room activation. So a lot of our meeting rooms could have activities going on and nobody knows that they're going on because of the way that those meeting rooms are designed when you walk in. So we're looking at ways to open up our meeting rooms for visibility's sake. Another thing is enhanced wayfinding. Lots of our buildings, you can drive by and you don't even know it's a library that's right there. And you might not necessarily know where is the front door. So, we'll look at signage for our buildings. We'll look at enhancing our entrances, lighting, all of that stuff. And then we have a lot of opportunity for outdoor spaces, and we'll have a priority for native plants in those outdoor spaces.
Something about just what you said, years ago, the first responders wanted schools to number their doors. So we might know where the front door is, but there might be an emergency at the back door. So,
Right. Well, and if you look at, German, for example, you can drive by Cleveland Road. This time of year, you can see that building really well. In the summer, you can't. So can we address that through landscaping and, signage? River Park, another good example. Like that library is is in a really great location, right on the main drag, right there. But you can't see the door from the street. And, the sign is brown, which is the same color as everything else this time of year in Indiana. So what can we do to make it clear that the public library is here? And a lot of that parking lot is behind the building, so how do you make it clear we are the main entrance of it?
It's also Texas University,
Yep,
and there is stations right behind it.
yep,
If you don't know,
fire department.
you think it's part of how you saw it.
yep. So how do you make it clear the public library is there? And the people in the neighborhood know, but I always try to think too about the people who are new to the community and how do the students know and how do the people who just moved here, how do they find us? So we'll look at that. The system-wide recommendations is for shelving, really, based on circulation trends that we're seeing at different locations. And then what we talked about, magazines, CDs, all of that sort of thing. Next month, Zach will have for us more specific quick wins, moderate steps, and substantial moves. We're back and forth right now on some of the things that we're seeing, and we're finalizing some of that. And we'll have specific recommendations for each location, and as we get. And then lastly, you can see we prioritize implementation. And if you look back at that busyness per square foot, you're seeing why Western and LaSalle are up at the top there. And we're pursuing a number of different options that we're thinking through that came out of our focus group and are not settled on. So we'll have some more discussions even after accepting the facilities master plan about the best steps for those neighborhoods. Infrastructure is also in that top tier, and we'll probably start, I would expect us to start on some of that this year in terms of HVAC improvements and things of that sort. And then you can just see it tiers on down based on age of the building. What's that, Anthony? Furniture, fixtures,
And equipment.
and equipment, yes. And really across the board, we know as we go, paint, flooring, et cetera, for all of our locations. So it's a matter of planning that out and getting our dollars to line up with what needs to be done. So this is a draft. We'll have them more detailed next month, but if you have questions or thoughts, you can ask them now, or if you think of them later and want to shoot me an email. I'll give back all the feedback.
but, maybe. You and Jane should talk about. how to do this.
We're already working on a plan.
But this is something you have to do, all different.
Well, we can talk about publicity and talking about it.
The other comments or questions for Stephanie?
It's really completely thorough. So. Thank you. You're welcome. Alan.
So. In our packet, it's page 64, it looks like it says system-wide recommendation and it's shelving projection. So in that, it's suggesting, for example, better over the next 10 years, which has got the largest, it's suggesting it's shelving. Essentially, the need's gonna go up from, by 13%, I guess, if that's to 113%, total across the board. So if in a situation like that, is it suggesting that we either reconfigure or that we possibly add to an addition to this center? Is that what that's?
We're not considering it an addition to center, but it will be, as you take away some of the shelving for, because you'll see this as adult, children, and teen, it doesn't address media. So we'll capture that space from media for their readers.
And that's the case of that, I think we can figure.
Yeah, yeah, and you'll see some of that in those, specific grant things that will be next month.
What's the timeline on? Once you get that, what is your timeline to get this started?
So hopefully, once you all approve the facility plan, we can start putting a timeline to it. And, we'll figure out funding. Jeanette will have some more numbers for us next month and we'll work on that.
Questions, comments? Different. Thank you.
I will say that we have planned adequately financially for much of this stuff, like you're talking HVAC and that sort of thing. We expect to pay for all of that out of savings and operating and, so we have plans.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any visitors that want to observe today?
I do.
Hold on a second. Sign in?
No.
We'll get you.
Is
it over here?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll grab it.
Okay, in the meantime, let me repeat the statement. A regular meeting, the public is invited to address the board in the public comment period of the agenda. Individuals may only speak once for 3 minutes during this time. Each individual can choose their own allotted time. Do not be given another speaker. If you wish to give public comment, you must sign up for the meeting. You sign it now. And when your name is called, please go approach the podium. They shall probably identify themselves by stating their name and address for the record. Personal issues are not to be addressed during open session of the library board. Please be respectful during the comment period. This includes not interrupting others and ending your comments when your time is up. Since the board acts as a unified body, having an individual member, the board listens but does not respond to public comment. After that, you have a time appointment.
Let me sign in first.
No, you're fine. It won't start until sure. It won't start here. You're fine.
I think you got it.
Ready?
Yes, name and address, please, and the next speaker.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. I'm Lori Simpson. Address you said?
Yes.
I live at 820 Iroquois Trail in Niles, Michigan. My husband is James Simpson Jr. and him and I own a business. And that's what I'm here today to represent, Access Goals LLC. Our business purpose is to extend digital equity to all people of all walks of life, especially those with disabilities. I feel fortunate to follow Stephanie's presentation here on the strategic goals. Number 4 of your strategic goals this year is to expand access of the libraries that ties right into users with disabilities. We'd love the opportunity to collaborate. My husband and I collaborate with the library to extend access to your website. So you all have done a great job of making the website accessible to some users, but we'd really like to take it to the next level and extend that accessibility to really bring more people in. I'm a certified professional in web accessibility. I'm really passionate about it. I love helping make the web more accessible for everybody, helping people use the web and have access to resources that way. I work at Crow in downtown South Bend. I worked there for 12 years. My husband works for Bradley and Company right around the corner. My kids and I come and use Tiny Town all the time. We love the library here. We feel like it's a critical asset to the community. And what better way to access all of these resources and tools than the library's website? So what I would like to request from you all today is a chance to meet with you in person on the website and discuss how we could partner together and figure out next steps. We'd love to offer a 1-hour free consultation to do that and just discuss how we can take the website to the next level. So I want to thank all of you for your time and consideration, and let me know when we can meet.
Thank you. Thank you. That's it. Thank you for that. Is there any news education item? All right, we'd like to acknowledge Christine's reappointment by the school board to the library board. And Alan,
We're both sworn in.
Yeah.
That's what we started.
they're not legal.
File paperwork with the courthouse.
I can't wait. Our next board meeting will be Monday, February 26th. In this room.
We have other business.
With the,
April meeting is,
brought up changing the April meeting.
it's now listed as the first day of Passover, and I thought we moved it back to the 29th. Yes, no?
Don't know what's my calendar here.
It's April 29th.
12/22.
As long as you bring a birthday cake for the day, next day, you're fine.
Party here for the 15th, 29th.
April 15th is our next.
So
29th.
I can't do
it's,
it.
and the 29th is still Passover?
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's not, that's my contact.
Not sure.
The 29th works for me.
I'm good.
Terry, is it big enough?
You get that, Terry?
Yes. Yeah, it's fine.
We will move that to. There's a motion to adjourn. Oh, adjourn.
Now, maybe the second then?
That was the second. All in favor, I call the roll. Gary?
Aye.
Ann? Kristen?
Aye.
Nicole?
Aye.
Alan? Aye. Ruth?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Meeting is adjourned.